Do you really want to be happy? You can begin by being appreciative of who you are and what you've got. Taoism. It's a philosophical, ethical, sometimes religious tradition of Chinese origin. According to Taoism, the entire universe and everything in it flows with the mysterious, unknowable force called the Tao. Translated literally as the way, the Tao has many different meanings. It is a name that describes ultimate reality. The Tao also explains the power that ultimately drives the universe and the wonders of human nature. Quite simply, the Tao is the force that leads us to become one and united with nature. The main building block of Taoism is called Wu-Wei. Wu-Wei is all about the avoidance of unnecessary action. It's about listening to the harmony and balance of nature. It suggests that you don't need to be aggressive to win. As Lao Tzu wrote, mastering others is strength, mastering yourself is true power. For centuries and through modern times, Taoists have expressed these guiding principles through such cultural activities as the gentleness of Taoist dance, through the simplicity and clarity of Taoist poetry, through the spiritual and peaceful movements of meditations of Taoist Tai Chi, and finally, through both classic and modern Taoist literature. In fact, for many of us, our first introduction to Taoism came from the book The Tao of Pooh by Benjamin Hoff, which uses the fictional characters of A.A. Mills' Winnie the Pooh stories to explain the basic philosophies of Taoism. Some of the Pooh characters symbolize ideas that differ from Taoism, while other characters fully support Taoist beliefs. Winnie the Pooh, for instance, is all about the Wu-Wei and the idea of being open to experiences without worry. Pooh is simple-minded, he is without ego, he is giving without expectations of other. Pooh is surely Taoist. So while Eeyore frets, and Piglet hesitates, and Rabbit calculates, and Owl pontificates, and Tigger boasts, Pooh just is. Since the 6th century BC, Taoist art has expressed the essence of Taoist belief, the harmony of all aspects of nature. The art reflects the Taoist thinking, that heaven and earth and I live together. This harmony in nature is a dominant theme in Taoist art, and is illustrated in the balance between such things as water and mountains. Waterfalls and mountain peaks are most often seen in Taoist landscape paintings. Beyond mountains and landscapes, some of the most common symbols and themes in Taoist art are the yin-yang symbol, the feelings and philosophy of empty space, running water as a metaphor for the flow of life, and Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism. The hugely popular yin-yang symbol has its roots in Taoism and is the most dominant symbol of Taoist art. Yin-yang represents the two halves that together complete wholeness. Yin-yang is also the starting point of change. When something is whole, it is complete. It does not change. But when it is split into two halves, this upsets the wholeness. Both halves start chasing each other as they seek a new balance with each other. In the book The Tao of Pooh, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet represent a certain element of yin and yang. As Piglet is cautious and hesitant, important characteristics within dangers of the forest, Pooh is light in thought, perhaps overly carefree. The two are very different, but together, they form a whole and strike a balance in their friendship. The yin-yang symbol in Taoist art has been interpreted by every generation of Tao artists, and has evolved into a symbol of modern popular culture representing simplicity and peace and balance. The second dominant theme in Taoist art, as it is in the Taoist philosophy, is the notion of emptiness. The empty mind in Taoist thought is translated into empty space in Taoist art. Emptiness in Taoism, or Wu, is a state of mind that is simplicity, quiet, and patient. To be empty in this way means to have a mind that is empty of wishes and desires. It is to be without jealousy. It is to accept what life offers, accept who you are. Empty space in Tao art is also related to the Wu-Wei, which is a kind of empty action or non-action. Winnie the Pooh himself reflects the principles of Wu-Wei and the idea of effortless doing. So much of Tao art is driven by the philosophy of Wu-Wei, emptiness, openness, and peaceful non-action. Things just sort of happen. This idea of effortless doing, becoming one with nature, just going with the flow, is represented so often in Taoist art and Taoist philosophy by the images of running water.
Empty your mind. Be formless. shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Running water never grows stale, so you gotta just keep on flowing.
Water is one of the principal symbols for the Tao, and one of the core images of Taoist art. If you live the Tao, you act in life as water acts in nature. Water moves through all that lives, and its movement, it remains clear and pure. Flowing water in both Taoism and Taoist art speaks the message of don't force things, just be. And as both Bruce Lee and Pu remind us, just go with the flow. In Taoist art, there is no one figure more dominant than its founder, Lao Tzu. Of all the great world teachers and philosophers throughout the centuries, Lao Tzu is perhaps the most mysterious. During his lifetime, he worked at the imperial palace where he observed the ways of men, the ways of nature, and the ways of stars. Perhaps the most famous and often painted Lao Tzu art is the Vinegar Tasters. The Vinegar Tasters shows the three leaders of the primary Chinese philosophers, Confucius, Buddha, and Lao Tzu, dipping their finger into a vat of vinegar and tasting it. Confucius finds the vinegar sour, just like he found life to be sour and in need of strict rules. Buddha found the vinegar just as he found life, to be bitter, with pain and suffering. But Lao Tzu accepts the vinegar as he accepts life, as basically good in its natural state. For centuries, Tao artists have created beautiful imagery to reflect the principles of Taoist philosophy: nature, simplicity, humility, compassion, and the belief that when human nature is aligned with the rest of nature, order and harmony are the result.